Welcome back again. This is a sewing tutorial for the previous video. So the next thing to do after cutting out your fabric is to cut out the lining of each piece. I cut out the lining for the lower part of the dress. We have 2 layers. I had to cut lining for each of them because I don't want to sew it round. I don't want to tape it, so I want lining to give it weight. So I made sure I cut lining for the layered part of the dress. Then I have my belt also. This is the band for the dress at the waist. Then I had to put stay for support. So this is the back pattern, front pattern. That's the lining for the front pattern. Then this is the back pattern. That's the lining for the back pattern. So the next thing to do after that so the first thing I'm going to do now is to join the lining. I'm going to attach the lining to the front pattern. I'm going to sew the neckline of the front pattern. You sew the neckline of the back pattern also. After doing that, you notch, then you sew, then you join the shoulder line. Then after joining the shoulder line, you join the armhole. It's a sleeveless gown, so that means you are going to join the armhole. You're going to sew, then turn it out to give it a neat outcome. So join the neckline, then you attach the shoulder line, as you can see from the video. So after following the steps I mentioned earlier, this is what you are going to have. So the next thing to do is to join the band of the dress. You are going to attach the band for the front, then the back. So after doing that, you are going to sew the belt. You sew your belt. After sewing the belt, you turn it out, then you iron to make it flat. Then after doing that, you are going to sew the lining of that layer, the double layer you cut earlier, the smaller one and the longer one. So you're going to sew your lining on it at the lower part. You're going to do that for the first layer, then you're going to do that for the second layer as well. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and join the dress by the side, inserting the belt. So I'm going to stitch by 1 inch on both sides. You're going to insert the belt where you have the band. Then you make sure you leave 0.5 inch below, so that by the time you join the lower part, it won't overrun on the belt. So as illustrated in the video, you insert the belt where you have the band, leaving about ½ inch at the lower part. So I'm going to be sewing by 1 inch on both sides. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to gather the first layer. I'm going to run a gathering stitch. I'm going to gather. You're going to do that for the first layer. You're going to do that for the second layer. Note that don't gather them together because the effect is going to be different. It's going to look muddled up, but if you do them separately, they are going to stand on their own and give a very fine effect. So what I'm going to do next is to join the first layer of the gathered part. That's the first layer. You're going to attach it to the lower part of the band. And make sure you watch the belt so that you won't run a stitch on the belt. Then after, you are going to go first with the smaller part. Then after the smaller part, you're going to add the longer part. Note that you're going to do the lower part first, followed by the longer part. So you're going to run the stitch round. So this is what it looks like now. You can see that both layers are standing independently. So the next thing to do is to attach the zipper. I'm going to be attaching my zipper. Remember that we left 1 inch sewing allowance when we were cutting the pattern. So this is the outcome. My dress is ready. This is what it looks like. This is the front. Then when I flip it, you see the back. This is the back. So we have a zipper. Then we have the belt.